speaking of when it comes to trading, exactly like what helps you identify like what industries or like companies to strictly pay attention to as a trader so you may be able to capitalize on it now or maybe later down the line.
Yeah. So for that, and I think hopefully we can talk about this later, but I'm going to talk about the strategy of sector rotation. So this is a strategy. It's one of the few ways that individuals can actually outperform the S&P 500 because you don't need to be an institution with all these resources and stuff. So what is sector rotation? Basically, what I do usually, it's not the only strategy I use, but it's one of them. I look at the economy. Where do I think the economy is going to go? And then I look at that. Let's say I think, and I can talk about this later too. Right now, I do think that we're headed for a bull market. So then I look. You can look this up online. Which sectors do best in a bull market? And the answer is technology, like different industries. Then I look which companies within those industries will do best. So in other words, look at where you think the economy is going. Then look at which sectors and industries will do best if that were to happen. So that is how I look at which industries or companies to focus on right now.
Got you. Okay. And I guess this is a natural follow up to that question. But like, what indicators or metrics do you rely on when you're evaluating a stock when it comes from a trader perspective?
Yeah, so definitely stick to the basics. So I use PE, obviously, what sector is it in? And then just overall looking at, does this profile of company fit where I think the economy is going? So once again, tying it into sector rotation. If I think a bull market is about to happen, does this, or actually, let me say, if I think a bear market is about to happen, does this company have the financials? Does it have the balance sheet needed to survive that? So does it fit the profile of a company that would do best in that given market situation? And so doing that, you look at the basics to figure that out.
Okay. Okay. And you did bring up like a bear market as an example. So let's go ahead and keep rolling with that example. Because often traders have like different strategies or tactics based on the stock market conditions, like you mentioned. Like, could you elaborate on a strategy or tactic that you would use, let's say, in a bear market to make money as a trader?
So sector rotation doesn't really work that well in bear markets. It can work in a shift from a bear market to a bull market, in a bull market, shift from bull market to bear market. But in a bear market, what I usually do, if let's say right now I see a bear market coming, which I don't, but let's say I do, then the other strategy I'll use is 100 baggers. I don't know if you've heard of this book. It's actually great. It's very common within the financial industry. 100 baggers.
And
It discusses
what's the author's name for the audio listeners?
right. Christopher Mayer. Sorry, it's
Okay,
reversed.
Christopher Mayer. Got you.
Christopher Mayer, 100 baggers. He discusses how you could find stocks using basic fundamental analysis to see what will return even just a 10 bagger, which is great. And so the reason I bring that up as being applicable in a bear market is because stocks that are low market cap are less correlated to market movements. So I'll just give you an example. I think it's Monster Energy, ticker MSNT. They cruised throughout the 2008 financial crisis, obviously a huge bear market. But because they were such low market cap and they just had great fundamentals, a great idea, it doesn't matter. So I definitely, if you see a bear market coming, I definitely recommend just look at small companies who have a great idea because then they'll be absolutely less correlated with market volatility.
Hmm. Okay, I could definitely see that because I think would you say that's one of the fallacies of being a trader? Like a lot of some people they don't realize that your strategy is going to depend on the market. They may think that it's just a consistent strategy you're always using year round. And if you know anything about stocks or the stock market, you would know that's a more or less a death sentence for your money.
Yeah, you're absolutely, as an investor, if you're a day trader, long-term trader, you're absolutely tied to Federal Reserve rate cuts, broad economic changes. So you really do have to look at, like I said, broad economic changes, and you have to factor that into your decisions.
Right. Okay. And you talked a little bit about a bull market because I was going to ask like what would be the strategy or tactic during a bull market, but you've already kind of covered that with the strategy that you had mentioned before, right?
Well, I would say this for bull market, something you can do with a bull market, something that an individual investor like you and me or anybody else watching this, what they can do is, and this is low risk, but actually high reward. So let's say if you get it right. So let's say we're in a bull market or you think there's going to be a bull market. What you can do is buy long-term options on ETFs. So, like I said, let's say we're headed for a bull market. It could even just be the S&P 500 ETF. Buy options that expire like 12 months from now. So that's just a very simple way to leverage sector rotation. So let's say sector rotation to you is sounds like it's too low reward. If you can increase that by using options, so that's just one way to kind of change that.
Okay, got you. Hmm. So, since we've actually kind of covered on some pretty decent ground now, let's approach it from the concept of like, what do you think is the most important thing you feel someone needs in order to become a successful trader in 2024 in today's time?
So something that I had that I'd recommend somebody like tries to get at least is I had my dad who's very experienced in finance, and
Mhm.
so in investing more than anything else, experience matters because when you make mistakes, you made that mistake and you lost money, so you make sure not to repeat it. So experience definitely matters. So most people probably don't have a parent in finance, so definitely talk to just older people in general who have been investing longer than you because they've made more mistakes than you, and they are pretty much bound to learn from those mistakes because they've lost money from them. And when you lose money from mistakes, you try to remember not to make the same ones. So definitely go to people who maybe don't even work in finance, but just have been investing longer than you. Ask them questions and just make sure you remember what they tell you because it's very good information. So definitely find somebody with more experience.
Got you. So I see kind of like a parallel to this in real estate because I've been involved in real estate for a few years now, and I've gone to several networking meetups. And I hate to say this, but real estate is kind of like a big hub of the wannabe-preneur, if you will. There's a lot of people that be hanging around these meetups, absorbing the information, but they haven't bought their first property. They haven't done anything, and they'll stay in that phase forever. And people there that are investing in properties, they pick up on that, so they don't. They're cordial, but they're not really trying to help you because on some level they know you're not going to do anything with it. But when I went to these meetups, I had already negotiated my first rental arbitrage unit, and I was getting in the process of putting it on Airbnb. And I was surprised how nice people were and how accommodating they were to help me out and give me advice because they saw that, hey, you actually have skin in the game. You're not like some of these people hanging around that they're just talking. You've actually done something. So that could probably play a big role in this too. If you go to various financial meetups, just network on purpose, but that actually be actively learning and invested in the market. And it never hurts to take offer to take someone out to lunch if you can tell that they're really doing well for themselves. A lot of that can result in a pretty good outcome, but a lot of people may not approach it that way. But these are some ingredients for just finding a mentor in general. In this specific case, we're talking about someone who has a lot of experience in trading. But yeah.
Yeah, all types of investing, stock, equity, real estate, definitely experience matters. So if you're in real estate, like you said, yeah, definitely that's a good thing that you were able to meet up with people and learn from them.
Right. So, how do you manage risk when it comes to your trading strategy? Because a lot of people what may keep them from trading, and even to some lesser degree, just investing in general. They think it's risky. So, how do you mitigate risk?
Investing in general, I'd say for me and for anybody, don't try to score the perfect opportunity. So a lot of people, they really want to buy Bitcoin on the bottom and sell it right on the top, or buy the S&P 500 right on the bottom, sell it right on the top. But it's okay to wait another week, even if you miss out on 1 or 2% of gains, to wait for that extra economic indicator, whatever it is, inflation, jobless claims, just to make sure that what you have, what your theory has something to it. And so don't score for perfect opportunities. If you have to take 5% instead of 10%, but it means much lower risk, then definitely take that.
Hmm. Right. So it kind of circles back to get in the game. Because if you have this perfect rate of return in your head that, oh, I'm not going to mess with it unless I know I can get that minimum, it might limit your opportunities. But if you're just more open minded, then it could work in your favor too. Would you say?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Sup everyone, y'all just watched a clip from one of the episodes of the Side Hustler Society podcast. If you want to check out the full episode, you can click on the link in the description right now or click on the video that's showing in the end screen. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new and hit that bell notification if you want to be notified when another episode drops, and a thumbs up on this video is very much appreciated. I'll catch you in the next one.